Justin, I got a question for you.
What is up?
Well, it's not really like a question, it's more of a statement slash like pun slash like something maybe you laugh at.
Probably gonna be a terrible dad joke, but go ahead.
No, no, no. Did you know Chuck Norris once had sex on top of a tractor trailer? A little bit of
I
his
didn't.
semen got in the engine compartment. Yeah, that tractor trailer is now known as Optimus Prime. Welcome back, Hack Stab Slash.
And rest in
I'm
peace,
only
Chuck
dropping a
Norris.
Chuck Norris
Oh
joke
my God.
because I grew up at like loving this dude. We had a little group in high school and there was five of us and there was names. One of us was Chuck, the other one was Norris, the other one was Walker, the other one was Texas, and the other one was Ranger.
Let's go. Rest
Yes.
in
And
peace,
then
Chuck
there was Bubba
Norris.
Hotep because I was late to the party.
Oh shit, damn.
Hack stab slash rest in peace Chuck Norris. It's kind of a fun slash morbid way to start the podcast, I guess, but we're doing the crazies from 2010. Justin, do you want to tell us the criteria I gave you to find this movie?
You gave me the criteria of. Oh, this is awkward. I forget the criteria. Son of a bitch. What a way to kick off. Well, why
I
did I
told
pick?
you to find me a fucking horror movie with someone with the name Justin in it.
Oh shit, that's me. That's my name. All right, yeah.
That's my name.
Completely forgot.
Spell it
Obviously,
Justin.
I had a super hard time with that. I'm not gonna lie. Every single thing was Justin Long, Justin Long. I almost picked the Justin Long movie. All the ones that I actually wanted to watch, we could not stream though, so I was
I'm so
super
glad we're
pissed
not
off.
watching Tusk right now.
I thought of that. I didn't know if I wanted what direction I wanted to go, so I dug very deep and found out that one of the actors in the Crazies was named Justin. And any single time I have a chance to talk about the Crazies, I am all in because I don't know if you've seen this before, but I absolutely love this movie. So I was so excited to give it a rewatch.
No, this is a first time watch for me.
No, it isn't.
I'm fully kidding. I am 100% kidding. I love this movie ever since it came out.
All
And
right.
it sucks because this is one of those movies that you kind of forget about. Like
Dude,
it's fantastic and I've
yeah,
never
it's
had a
not
bad
mentioned.
time watching it, but I always forget like the crazies.
All right, before we jump in, anyone listening, is this a top five remake? I want to hear Sean's answer too. Top five
Yes.
remake in
Yes.
horror movie history.
Yes.
I think it
Yes.
is. I think it
Yes.
is. I might,
It
I
is
should probably make
on my
content on that.
Mount Rushmore of remakes. And speaking of remakes, this is the second greatest remake of the 2000s era from whenever that has been done. That is a George A. Romero remake. And I think
Let's
that speaks
go.
volumes to George A. Romero's like style of work too.
It does. And touching on the Crazies real fast, have you seen the original Crazies?
Yes.
Because I kind of think it's unwatchable. All respect to him, I love him and everything, but I actually just rewatched it the other day, and it might be the worst movie I've ever seen. It was so bad. I'm not. No, I'm not even like I love him. All respect to him. Great concept, but kind of think it's unwatchable, and it holds up so bad and so boring. I just have to get that out there. And like I say that respectful. This movie's 1,000 times better. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion. But
See, I think with like you say, it's boring. George A.
yeah,
Romero's movies, I will give you that, are very boring. The only reason why I think Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, all those hold up tremendously is because they were groundbreaking films at their time
they were. And like I
in
said,
the zombie genre.
I get it. I rewatched all those. I love like the original Dawn of the Dead. I still think that holds up better. Even Day of the Dead, like it's like slow. I really like that. But for whatever reason, like the Crazies, I don't know. That original Crazies, man, that's a tough watch. That's a tough one to get
This
through.
movie, Justin,
Whew.
I'm gonna burn some fun facts right now. This movie has a crazy amount of remake horror royalty tie-ins. One
Okay.
of those tie-ins right now is the opening to a George A. Romero movie with Johnny Cash as the song. He did this in 2004's Dawn of the Dead.
Dude, let's go. We're dropping fun facts anyway, but let's jump right into this from the beginning. We'll just we won't go scene by scene. We'll cruise through this real fast and talk about some fun stuff.
Do you know what else this ties into?
What do you got?
What was the other day, Justin? What was the first day of what? Like two
Spring?
days ago. Yes,
Spring.
the first
It's
day of
spring.
spring.
Yes.
And one of the opening lines in this movie comes from Timothy Olyphant, Sheriff David. He's grabbing a cup of coffee at a little league game or like a major league game or Babe Ruth, whatever. I really wasn't paying attention to that. But he says, I don't care when you guys say the first day of spring is. The first real day of spring is opening day. And I was like, this is giving off small town community vibes. I love this right now. The setting, the feeling, there's corn in the mist. Like we just got done listening to Johnny Cash and like seeing all those little
Mhm.
tidbits. But
Yep.
I do love that the sheriff, as he's getting his coffee, dude, the principal walks over and goes, "Sheriff doesn't pay for his coffee," and he's like, "Principal's still got to pay his parking tickets." And as he's walking away, dude, the principal's like, "Start him a tab."
Let's go. Hell yeah.
But in the midst of this game, dude, we see some guy wander onto the field coming from center field. That is another great baseball themed song that they could have used there with center field.
Yep.
But this guy's name is Rory, and he looks lost. He looks stunned. He looks like a wounded animal, just kind of like wandering around that has just been shocked and has no idea what's going on. The only difference between that scenario and what's actually going on is he's got a shotgun and he's walking right towards the center fielder. And holy cow, can you talk about a high tension scene? David sprints out to the middle of the field and he squares off with them. And he's like, "Man, just put down the gun, Rory. I know something's wrong." He's like, "Just let's put down the gun and let's talk about this. Did you pick up the bottle again?" He's like, "Are you drunk?" He's like, "That's got to be it, man. You're just drunk. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you are." And then he cocks it. So David pulls out his handgun. And then the second he raises this to aim it at David, dude, David pops him. Just one quick hitter, just a fatal draw. That round is over. Everyone is stunned. Everyone's in the dugouts. What a way to open a movie.
And it's so creepy too. Like right before you switch to the next scene, it's you get like a weird zoom out. Like you almost like see the world from like super far away. And you see where it says like Ogden March. It's like satellites are watching it. And it's like town, Ogden March, like population 1260. And you see like a bunch of like computer shit going on. And then it just cuts to like the crazies. Like what a way to start. Like such just craziness. Like you said, it's like amazing spring. Like you got awesome small town vibes. Boom, right away. You see
And
someone.
they work it in so well too. Because you get the small town vibes. It's setting up the characters. Like you're getting used to the scenario, but you're getting hints right off the rip. Something's
Yeah.
wrong.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's no 20 minutes into the movie and you don't know what you're watching. Like no, this is wrong from the get go. It's just very slow.
I was just gonna say like the character building right away now, like we see like right away it flashes to and we see like dude, David is struggling, man. He is like this is a small town and he just shot someone in front of everyone that everyone knew. And you see him like you see him at his office. He gets like a medical call from him and you see him check the box that Rory was this dude
He
was
was
stone
stone cold
cold
sober.
sober. Like holy shit. And you see him like check that box and you just like you could just see him struggling. You see like Rory's wife and kids like yell like get mad at him. So I mean, you see this is like very this is like
Even right there, yeah. He's like, "I think he might have been drinking," and she slaps him, and she's like, "Is that what you're telling people? You had to shoot the town drunk?" She's like, "Rory hasn't picked up the bottle in 10 years, and you know that. That's his most proudest achievement." And
crazy.
like you could
So
tell, he's just struggling to cope with it himself. Like
yeah,
if if they had seen the way David handled that scene, I think it was great because like he did try to talk him down, and he wasn't pointing the gun at him until that gun was cocked and then aimed right at his head. Like, I mean,
yeah.
you got to do what you got to do.
No, I love it. And they make it amazing. So you feel for the family, you feel for him. You see David's wife, who's like the nurse. You feel this is so much stuff going through it. And then you see him, he's back at the ball field, and you see this guy, Ben, on the bleachers, and he's like talking to him. And once again, this dude is in like a damn trance. Like this guy is in a complete trance. And he's like, Ben, Ben, Ben. He's like snapping it, and like Ben kind of like snaps out of it. And he's like, oh yeah. I gotta go, and this dude walks away. So like I love like the small hints are there because you see like what the hell. And you see David's wife is also the doctor, and she's in town, and we see Bill. This dude,
Bill
Bill,
Farnham. What a
yeah,
last name, dude. Farnham.
right? Amazing. And Bill is the same thing. This dude is spaced out. There, you like. There's nothing behind those eyes, man. He's repeating himself, like his family's there, like really worried about him. Like, yeah, something's not right. Something's not right. And then just
Dude,
later on,
he
man.
starts repeating himself in the checkout. He's like, "She worries too much. I'm just tired, is all."
Yeah.
And that sounds like a normal response, like, "Oh, all right." And
Hmm.
then she turns around to check his blood pressure, and he's like, "She worries too much. I'm just tired, is all." And
Yeah,
it's
so
like
like I
he's
said,
stuck on repeat.
terrible. And then later on that night, man, this scene is absolutely
What a
wrecks
piece of
me.
shit. What a piece of
Yeah,
shit.
you see Bill's house, man, and you see like the mother looking outside, and like he's got like a barn, and there's lights flashing. It's actually wicked, wicked creepy. And she goes out there, and like one of the machines for the farm thing is going off, and also,
Dude, the first time I saw this movie, I thought that's where she was gonna get it, and I was
dude,
gonna be like, "Holy
so no,
shit!"
like the tense. This was a scary scene. It's one of those scenes you almost just have to see to actually like get how scary it is. And then when she's out there, like the mom's out there, she turns off this thing. She hears the son scream from the house. She runs in the house. I don't even want to talk about this, but she runs in the house and like she finds like the son hiding and he's like, it's dad. He's got a knife. And they're like hiding like in the closet. And this dude traps them inside, pours gas throughout the whole entire house, and absolutely torches the house, killing them, setting them on fire. What the absolute hell?
Dude, when the
Just
first responders get there, did you hear what they said?
what did they say?
They were like, we seen Bill when we got here. He was just mowing his lawn, like just going
Yeah.
on about his business. Like, are you
Eh.
kidding me?
And everyone gets there. Like David gets there, his wife gets there, and dude, Bill is just in a trance, like just whistle, and he's whistling so creepy. Dude, David's wife, she starts even screaming at him, like, "What have you done?" And he whistles, so creepy. I absolutely hate the scene, but holy shit, you realize like this movie is a very serious one, and my
Dude,
God,
and it starts to pick up from here because like we do see he gets tossed in like the drunk tank. They're trying to figure out what to do with him. They're trying to nail everything down, but while they're trying to figure this out, we get a little side quest. We see three hunters are down in the marshes and they're looking for dinner and they do stumble across something, but it's not fish, it's not gators, it's not boars, it's nothing like that. It's a parachute. And they follow the strings of the parachute and they find a dead body attached to it. And this dude is extremely bloated, giving us the inclination that he's been there for a little bit. And it's disgusting.
yeah,
And this
oh,
triggers the sheriff and his deputy to now go out and investigate. And they start talking about, we heard a big boom or someone heard a boom in the night, like something crashed. And they're like, maybe it was a plane because that dude was in a parachute. And this is a very cool scene. And it shows how aware Sheriff David is of everything that's going on with them because as they're driving, he's like, cut the engine. They're like,
dude's
why?
locked in.
And he's like, because if a plane crashed, it would be right here. And he's like, well, how do you know that? And he's like, because we're right on top of it. And this shit like zooms out back to the
Zoom out.
satellite ish, and you see the whole plane underneath, and it's completely submerged except for like a couple propellers sticking out that could pass off as just driftwood. And I'm like, that's a beautiful shot, in my opinion.
That was badass, badass.
But David starts to, let things click in his head. And he's like, you didn't hear about this plane crash on any news. We didn't get any phone calls. No one alerted us. He's like, so someone doesn't want the mainstream media to know this plane went down. He's like, and he's like, well, where does this marsh drain out to? And they're like, this river. And they're like, and where does that go to? And it funnels to this. And they're like, where do we get our drinking water? And he's like,
Mhm.
there's something in this plane, and he's like starting to tie it together. So he goes to see Mayor fucking McDougal, fake, funny fact, Colonel Sanders, uh, pasty dumbass. He goes to visit him, and every time I see the scene, I giggle because this man has a house in the middle of cornfields, like most farmers do, but he clearly ain't no farmer. He just
Mhm.
he's got pristine grass around his house, like the neighbors give a fuck how green it is, and then he's just got a giant swimming pool out
There's a
back.
pool. It looks so out of
Yeah,
place.
I'm like, this belongs in a cul-de-sac in an upper class neighborhood, not
I
in a
laughed
farm.
too. It just when I watched the scene, I'm like, this doesn't even look right.
But he's like, no, I ain't shutting the water off. He's like, it's farming season, it's planting season. He's like, you shut off this water, you kill the community. And David's like, all right, whatever, fuck you, I'm shutting it off anyways. And he
Yep,
does, he does
he
shut it
does.
off. And
Badass.
after he shuts it off, dude, and he starts trying to do his own little investigating and figure out what's going on, doing his due diligence, he starts to realize, dude, this town is cut off and no one has said anything. The cell phones aren't working, the internet's down, there's no dial tone on any of the landlines. He goes outside and none of the like no one's out there. The whole town is a ghost town and you can hear camera shots click click click, you know what I mean? And you see
Mhm.
from that point of view someone's taking pictures. And David realizes, hey, this black SUV don't belong in my town. And as he starts to walk to it, thing just speeds off. And my notes for that whole set of scenes is like, could you be any more suspicious?
Right?
Don't be suspicious.
I was just gonna say, don't. Oh my God.
David does go back and he's like, I need to get in touch with Jim. He's like, Jim will know what's going on because he's examining all these dead bodies. And when he gets to Jim's place, he goes in through the back door because the front's locked. And Jim has gone mental. And when I say mental, this man has a basement full of bodies right now. He's even got one that's completely charred Like you like maybe he put him in the incinerator, like halfway pulled him out. Like there's some sick twisted shit going on right now because he's even got a pastor, the local town pastor, on a stretcher, still alive, with his fucking eyes and his mouth sewn shut.
God.
And just as David is like clipping like the stitches on this pastor, the pastor doesn't freak out. He literally just goes, "Behind
Behind
you."
you.
And as he says that, dude, David and Jim, their whole battle starts. Jim gets the jump on him, smashes him over the head. They start going back and forth. And this is such an intense scene, dude, because
Dude.
the bone saw that Jim is using to attack David scrambled. David is done for. We'll just say that. And he pulls the extension cord, and in doing so, it wraps the bone saw around this dude's like neck, and he's not letting go, and it dives into him, completely kills him. And just when David thinks everything's over, this bone saw drops to the ground and tries to make it lickety splitty for his his
Yeah.
fun bag. Let's just say David almost got circumcised for round number 2 in his lifetime.
Hmm.
Uh-uh. I wanted to make sure I got to that part so you didn't
Thank
have to
you.
talk about it.
Thank you. I was gonna say I'll take
'Cause
over right
I,
after
I
this
know
part.
how much you enjoy talking about penises.
Yeah, I appreciate you covering this. I'll take over right after the scene. And yeah, holy shit, that's and dude, the pacing of this movie, how this just picks up. I love how it's just like slowly escalating. And then you see him now,
Dude,
he's
it's
at
like a
home.
fucking sorry. It's just like a stock market. You know what I mean?
Dude,
It like
it's
rides the wave and then it's like boop, and then it
I
rides
love
it
it
up here and then it
so
boop.
much because you see him at home. Dude, what's David's wife's name again? I keep forgetting. I don't
Judy.
want to Judy, thank you. I don't want to just keep calling
It's
her
all right.
wife
When I
because
did
she's
my notes, I said sheriff's wife like a million times because I was like, I can't remember her name,
yeah,
but
I
I was
kept
in the middle of
forgetting. She
notes.
deserves a name because she's a badass character, so I want to make sure I give her a prop. So you see them at home now, like David and Judy, and they're talking, and all of a sudden, like they're just having a nice moment and stuff, and you see all of a sudden, like, wait, someone's outside, like they're looking outside, and then holy shit, they're captured by the military. Like, what is going on? They're round up, and you see not even just them, everyone's round up and put on school buses, and they're going to a containment center set up. Absolute, I mean, this is chaos. It looks like so it's at the school. We see all the townspeople are captured, pulled in there. They set up this giant camp. They're going in, they're getting their temperature checked. As this happened, dude, Judy gets dragged away because she fails the temperature check.
Yeah, she spikes a fever.
Yeah,
There's a
and,
logical explanation for it too, and they're screaming. They're like, she's got a fever because she's pregnant, dumbass.
yeah, and never
Like
mind,
she's
like the
been
stakes
running
keep
one for a
rising.
month.
We hear that she's pregnant, so obviously, she's dealing with all that stuff. David, badass, he's trying to help it. He ends up getting knocked out. Dude, they're not giving any explanation. They just punch this dude in the face, screaming pregnant. As this is happening, I mean, you see families being torn apart. You see that the town is sealed off. Like, this is absolute chaos. As this has happened, you see someone's truck, like a truck drives through a fence, and there's a gun battle, and you see people running
This scene is
everywhere.
so badass.
It's so bad, it's because you still have no, like, what the hell is
You can't
happening?
tell if they're infected and they're crazy and they want to
That,
kill everyone, or if
that,
they're trying to liberate their fellow town folks. I'm gonna go with the
exactly.
liberation part.
Right? And same thing, like obviously I've seen this movie before, but the first time I wrote, all right, everyone's screaming, they're breached, like abort mission. Like you see military people packing up and leaving, they're running through like this place, they got people tied up on beds. And the same thing, I'm like, are those people zombies? Is this townspeople trying to be badass? But the military's evacuating. You see choppers going out and they're just leaving people. There's people tied up on the beds. I mean, holy shit. So we see David and the other cop. I forget the cop's name, but they meet up at a station. They're like, look,
Hold
look,
Before that though, can I just touch
yeah,
on what I think is the best line in this movie?
yeah. Oh shit, what do you got?
There's one part where they're like all split up. You know what I mean? Judy's on the bed. The deputy is kind of like in his own little quarantine camp. He was actually down there when the firefight broke out. And
Mhm.
David right now is on a different shuttle bus trying to get them out of town. And he's standing next to, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's talking to him and he's like, "Where's your wife?" And he's like, "They took her."
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
And all that shit. And he's like, "All right." He's like, "Well, I'm going back." He's like, "You can come
Yes.
with me." He's like, "I'm not leaving her back there." And he's like, "No." He's like, "I watched them gun down this man for trying to chase his family." He's like, I'm just gonna go." And he's like, "Well, I can't." And he's like, don't risk your life for something that's foolhardy. And like kind of I'm like taken back by the way this dude's talking. And David looks him straight in the eye and says what I think is the best line in this movie. He goes, "Don't ask me why I can't leave without my wife, and I won't ask you why you can."
Done. Dude, these characters were written so good. Like this, like, dude. David's written so good, man. Such a
Dude,
badass
oh,
character.
I love Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, badass. Like, and just like I said, those little lines like throughout the movie like that is just it's just so badass. And we see him now, so like it is go time. Like they're going to get the wife. And we see Maya meanwhile, mind you, she's in one of those tents like medical things set up, like with other people, young people, like tied up in beds. And holy shit,
Best
we
shot of
get
the movie right behind you.
I was just gonna say, if anyone is watching on YouTube, we have the pitchfork scene. This dude walking down a hallway with the pitchfork. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. I think this was like used in the trailer back in the day. I haven't seen the
Yep.
trailer in a long time, but I'm pretty sure this was like a crazy trailer scene. And
Can
this,
you cut a promo with this scene and just
oh,
have like Mamma Mia Pizzeria da, 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 da,
yeah,
da.
funny. He has
Like
some awesome
spaghetti
music.
because he's got the giant fork and he's gonna turn everyone into meatballs.
And holy crap, does he ever try to do that? Because he goes into this tent and there is people, and you see her like she's tied up. You see there's like another young girl in there, and one by one, he's going to people, taking this pitchfork up. Dude, he stabs them straight through it. These people are stuck on like the
Oh,
gurney of
not
bed
moving.
they're on.
Some of
Like,
them are praying, some of them are laughing.
yeah,
Like
some of them
everyone
you
has
can
got
tell
their
are
own
crazy.
different thing going on.
Dude, oh my God. And you see him just like kill a few of them one by one. Oh my God. And thank God, because right before they're gonna kill the wife and the young girl, David and his other cop storm in and shoot the guy, kill him. Holy crap, that was intense. They grab the wife and now they have another girl with them.
I don't even
Um,
know why they bothered to save her. You know what it is?
what?
Is they had to save her so she could go to Camp Crystal Lake in the 2009 Friday the 13th remake and just get killed by Jason Voorhees.
Oh
Bam, there's
shit.
another tie-in for the
Yeah, because
remake.
I forget her name. It was like Danielle Panner
Yeah,
something. I'm probably just butchered that so
yeah,
bad.
Danielle Panabaker. Sorry.
Let's go. I forgot that was her. Hell yeah.
Every time I see her, though, all I can think about is Frost and Caitlin from the Flash series. She's phenomenal in that. I know you
Oh,
don't
she's
watch
doing that
TV
too?
series, but yeah.
Yep. Hell yeah.
They get
Mm-mm-mm.
away, and the three of them are now they run and they're looking for a car to escape. They're downtown and they see the army has had time, or the National Guard, or whoever the fuck is taking control of
Yeah,
the city.
whatever is
They
happening.
put a boot on every single working vehicle in this town, so you can't drive them.
Dude,
They do
assholes.
see a pickup truck and the deputy goes to commandeer it, and they pull him back because this thing is dripping in blood. And it turns out it's the three hunting buddies that we saw from earlier. And right now, dude, they're not hunting animals. This is like a scene out of the Purge. They are
Yeah,
hunting
thank
humans.
you. I
They're letting this dude run away so they can get a long distance shot on him. And you can hear one of them celebrating. They're like, got him right through the heart. And they like pick up the bodies and they bring him over to the truck bed. The whole truck's full of dead bodies. These guys are hunting them like they're stringing up deer, getting ready to mount their heads on walls. Like it's so twisted what these guys are doing right now in this town, and they're just being able to do it because they're under quarantine and everyone's doing this shit. But they decide, we got to get back to David's house because he's got the old cruiser still on blocks. It runs, it just needs the wheels put back on. And as they're traveling across farms, I got, young love is going to get you killed because this chick sees Scotty, her boyfriend, sees his house and sees movement in there. So she starts sprinting towards it. That is a gigantic red flag if I ever saw one. You do not do that shit. You stick together and you take your time. You investigate and you go slow. But thankfully, this doesn't get her killed because she finds Scotty, and after a tense standoff between the deputy and Scotty, David actually has him at gunpoint. He puts the gun down, and just before they can go inside to get the mom, he notices like something in the bushes. This dude's senses are on high alert. Bro, if I need someone to survive any kind of thing, I'm picking David
for real.
because this dude like the whistle in the trees went the wrong way, which means there's a body in between two trees causing the aerodynamic forces to lean. It looks like, and he's like he pulls them all into the barn and shuts the door, and we see all of these soldiers pop up, and they grab the mom and they bring the mom outside, and they're testing her. And as they're testing her, dude, Scotty can't bear it, dude. He panics and he runs out there and he's sprinting towards these soldiers, screaming like, "That's my mom." Don't do that shit. This is a high tense
Dude,
situation. You are an idiot for doing this, and this gets him shot. This
dude,
dude gets riddled with a lead pie,
dude.
and as his body drops, they kill the mom and they light them both on fire and they call it a day. I'm not.
Fuck.
I'm not. I don't even feel bad for Scotty. Like
Yeah. Yeah, he did
You
not play that
can't.
cool.
And we see an army dude kind of making his way towards the barn to investigate. And David snatches him up. They wrap this kid up. They disarm him. They dismask him. They bring him out back and they start drilling him with questions and coming up with scenarios. And this kid is like, listen, man, he's like, I didn't know what town we were in until I started seeing license plates. He's like, we got shipped here. We got no orders. We got told to quarantine. We take our masks off. We're dead, like this, that, and the other thing. He's like, listen, man. He's like, you let me go. He's like, I won't say you're in here. He's like, I did not sign up to shoot unarmed civilians. He's like, this is bullshit. He's like, I'm just trying to make it through the night too. So eventually, David caves in, much to the deputy's demise. They let him put his mask on. They even give him his gun back. And this dude is like, yo, barn's clear. We're good. And this gives them the opportunity to kind of like go their separate ways. That might be the only soldier in this movie I like.
Yeah, for real, for
Dude
real.
looks like he's 18 and fresh out of boot camp.
I
And
was
he's
just gonna
like,
say
I
that
did
that
not sign up for this, man.
for real. That looked like a kid. Like, holy shit.
They do make it back to David's house and they're getting the old cruiser. They get it back up on stints and they get it running and they go inside. And this is like a very touching moment because like you could see David and Judy are like, this was supposed to be our home. Like this is a beautiful summer day or spring day. And she's even trying to do normal house chores because the second they get within walking distance of this house, she's pulling down the laundry, trying to fold it. And like I get it. You're trying to find some normalcy in what's going on right now. And it is very, very hard to watch because when she goes upstairs trying to pack the supplies, she goes into the nursery and your heart breaks for her because this is where they were supposed to raise their kid and start a family. And as the door shuts, dude, we see Rory's wife in the background. And then I don't, did she scream? Is that what alerted David?
Oh, she
I think
screamed or
she,
something
yeah,
dropped something. I forget if there was a
something.
yell. There was,
Yeah.
but he definitely got alerted and like started
He got
walking
alerted
upstairs.
and he ends up going upstairs and sees her like tied to the chair. And as he's like panicking, dude, the door shuts, and now it's Rory's son and him are going at it. And holy shit, does this scene go fucking cuckoo ape shit bananas, peel me a coconut. Um, but the son ends up getting David on the floor and they stab a knife through the top of his hand. And he's sitting there and they got him pinned down, and David really can't do nothing. And the wife has got David's gun and she's got it aimed at Judy. And she's mumbling some shit about Rory and like, you killed my husband. You told everyone he was drunk. Like, she's incredibly pissed off. And David like starts battling back the only way he knows how. He's like, yeah, you're fucking right. I did. And I do it again. Like talking shit to her, trying to get her to aim the gun at him.
Hmm.
And as this scene is slowly unfolding, you can see David's hand rising up through that knife
Hmm.
until he hits the grip handle and his hand can't go no more. And just before she can pull the trigger, my man channels his inner hitman, also a movie he's done, which was phenomenal. I loved it. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That movie was fun. He pulls his hand out, and while it's still got the knife in it, dude, he does like this backhand swat and slaps her in the side of the neck and puts that knife right into her jugular as she's bleeding out. And he knocks out the kid in the process. Like, this man, whew, ain't no fucking around with David.
Absolutely
But
amazing, amazing scene.
amazing. The
My
only
God,
thing that
my
made
God.
my gut drop is I was like, homie's infected.
I know.
But maybe where it's the drinking water, maybe it's a chemical imbalance that goes to your brain
Hmm.
and it's not in the blood.
Right.
That's the only thing I'm like, that's the only hope I
Yep.
got right now. Cause I'm like, man, I'm like, David, you just literally sacrificed yourself in a split-second decision and risked infection to save your wife. I mean, if that's not a man, I don't know what is.
Best thing ever. And you think the coast is clear, but what happens?
It's not at all. They get in the fucking cruiser and they're ready to, let's take off. And they're forced to take cover in a car wash because as they're driving, dude, they see a helicopter like fly over. I mean, this shit is so low and going so fast, it borderline flips the car over from the force. And they see it hanging a Yui, like coming back to them. And before it can fully turn around, he takes a hard left, dude, and just drives right into a car wash, shuts the engine off, and they're playing quiet. Like maybe it didn't see us, maybe it doesn't know where it goes. Turns out this car wash, man, ain't so vacant. Justin, you want to tell me what happens in this car
Dude,
wash?
my God. No, like every scene I keep thinking this can't get crazier. Okay, I just keep thinking this movie can't get any better. Like it's got to be some downtime. This is scary. They're going through a damn car wash, and like the girl Becca's like, oh my God, like never mind, like she's coughing, so they're kind of freaked out, like, oh my God, is she sick? And they're seeing like she just saw something. Like you see flashes of people. You can't tell what is going on because like picture you're in the car wash, things are hitting that, and holy shit! All of a sudden the window starts smashing. They are shooting through this, trying to shoot at them, and as they get through, dude, oh my God. Becca gets pulled out.
Heartbreaking.
No, heartbreaking. Like literally pulled out and like pulled by a rope. Dude, she's freaking hanging. She's literally hanging from the back. They all jump out of the car. Dude, they're doing
Not just to
headshots.
save her, dude, but you can see the pain in David's eyes because they wrapped the hose around her neck, but
Yeah,
he's the one that drove away at like 80 miles an hour to get the hell out of there. And that
yeah.
yanked her out.
That's the craziest thing. So like the car goes flying forward. She gets freaking yanked out violently, and her body's flying through, getting like hanging as they're shooting everything. They get her. They're trying to pull her off. Like it is so heartbreaking. The car, and as this is happening, like now it's only three of them because she is dead. They get her down. The car
The
gets
only good thing that might have happened from this is instead of her hanging there and like struggling, it looked
yeah.
like the force of her getting ripped out of that car might have broke her neck.
It's so fucked up that you
So
have to even say
yeah,
that, but I thought the same thing in my head. I'm like, I think she hopefully died with her broken neck right away, so she wouldn't like because you didn't see her suffer. She looked like second she was hanging, she looked dead. And so now there's only three of them, and their car is blown up by a chopper. You see a chopper just
dude
go
just
by.
shoots it with a
This
missile. Like that
just
is a
missile,
blessing in
pew!
disguise.
Like so, holy shit! Like this is just not good. So now there's only three of them, and they are walking, and we see a car coming. So they're kind of like, oh
You see
shit,
the
like you know.
Tahoe from earlier that sped off.
Exactly. So like they're like, we are going to take this car. So this car, Russ actually throws like the crash strips and this thing crashes. I mean, this thing flips over 97 times. Military dude in there. David runs and grabs this dude and he is like, hold, like, give me some damn info. The guy basically tells him, like, look, this is a biological weapon that crashed. And he's like, well,
He's
what
like,
have
it's
you done to
supposed to
my
minimize population control. And he's like, it was going to an incinerator in Texas.
Zach? Exactly. And like David's like pissed. He's like, "What did you done to my town?" He's like, "Dude, if he's like, this would be a global pandemic if we did not control this." And he's like, "Well, what's the incubation time?" He's like, "It's 48 hours of incubation time if you have it or not." And he keeps asking them more questions. But Russ, who's actually been kind of like acting
You could
erratic as
see him
fuck.
starting to get like a little pale, a little dark
Yeah,
under the
he,
eyes.
he does not look good. And he saved him a few scenes earlier in that scene that Sean was talking about. He ended up like the son came back to life and he shot him through the window. So like Russ did save their life there, but Russ has been very erratic since then. He shoots the dude. And Dave was pissed. He's like, dude, like what the hell was that? Like I was still asking him questions. Like this guy had our info, like info we needed. And they start arguing over the gun. So they're like, Dave was like, no, I'm gonna hold on to the shotgun and stuff. But Russ freaking pulls a gun on them and completely acting erratic. Like this is his friend has saved his life and shit. Now he's making them walk in front of. He's literally making David and Judy walk in front of
When
him
he
down the
was
street.
counting to three, I thought he was going to shoot him.
I did too. Like this is
He
actually
was
like
like
really
one,
tense
two, three.
because like a lot of the time you
That's
don't
how
think.
many times I've saved you today.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. He's like, and dude, the feelings too, because you're like, oh my God, like Russ actually has been a great guy and he really has saved him a million times, but now he's acting really erratic and oh my God, it's not, it's pretty
You
crazy. So
can
they
tell something in him still wants to be the good guy because when they give him the rifle as they're walking, he discharges it so he can't use it.
Yeah, like so there's a battle going on, and you kind of see like David kind of like whispering to Judy. He ends up like turning around and just goes right up to Russ, and he kind of calms him down. He's trying to talk to him. He ends up punching Russ. He gets the gun, and Russ, you see his like nose is bleeding, and he almost seems human. He like seems human again, and he kind of says like, he's like, "I'm not right, am I?" And he's just kind of like,
Dude, this
he's,
this this broke my heart.
dude, it hurts because like David's like pointing the gun at him, and he's kind of like, "No, I don't think you are," and he's just like.
Can I
So
walk with you guys for a little
yeah,
bit?
he's like, can I just stay like a little longer? And dude, I do have chills because he's back to being human and shit, man. So you see, like the sun is going down now, man. It is nighttime, and they walk all the way back, and they see like another like a camp is set up, and this is freaking sad because you see Russ is like, look, man, I'm gonna create a diversion. You two go and get around this, and like I got this. And so the military setup, right? This is a big base and everything. And you see Russ like he is walking down there, and he gets into like a standoff with the military,
Did you see
And
what he did right before he got there though?
what do you do?
When he ducked behind the cop car, you can tell he's still a good human being and
Hmm.
doesn't want to kill anyone like unless it's needed. He
Yeah,
completely empty. He drops the clip and discharges the
yeah,
gun, so the gun is fully empty, so he
it's
can't shoot
empty.
any of these people.
Yep, dude,
God
crazy.
damn, dude! If
Yeah, so
anyone
you
was
see,
gonna fight this virus and win, I feel like it might have been Russ.
I know for real that does suck because, like you said, he doesn't even have anything in the gun, and he ends up pulling the gun to get himself shot, and he does. They light him up, but it does allow the other two, Judy and David, to get past them, and they come to a giant like
It's like a
service
truck stop.
center
Yeah,
truck stop, one of those gas stations too that has like everything you can imagine. Um, so and like they're nervous to go in, trying to figure out what's going on. You see big like trucks and trailers out there, so they split up for a second, and
bad idea.
yeah, bad
Bad idea.
idea. Don't First of all, don't do that. David goes in for a couple seconds. He looks around and everything, and he comes back out for Judy, and you see Judy's kind of just like stunned, and just looks like really upset. And you see the back of one of those giant trailers is just full of
Well,
dead
what
bodies.
David was in one of those when they were trying to get him out of town.
Yes,
So that could
it,
have been David
it
because
could
that
have been.
whole trailer was just riddled with bullets and then set
Oh,
on fire.
exactly. All those people taken. Oh,
Such
my
like mass casualty that it's just like, oh my God. Like what could have been for David's storyline had he not gone back for his wife?
dude, crazy. And even this like next to like you saw like it's like the place has even got like a little diner in it, and you see them like they got to keep it. They're talking. They're like, all right, well, you know what? We got to keep going. There's no turning back right now. We're gonna drive to I think they said like Grand Rapids. They're like, we
Yeah, they're
got
gonna get
this.
the hell out of there.
Let's go. And they're gonna try to steal one of the giant trucks that are in there. So once again, David goes ahead real fast, but you also see someone is in there and watching Judy. Um, so that's not good at all. And we also hear in the background too, like radios saying something like we're
It's got
approaching 10
10
minutes.
minutes until what do they call it? Do they call it like evaporation?
Yeah, something.
They call it like project something where like it's no good with a countdown. They basically, like you said, they got 10 minutes to escape until this town is fully neutralized. And like you said, someone's been in there with them. And almost simultaneously, he sees the pickup truck full of dead bodies inside one of the garage bays from the three hunters from earlier, and the lights all go out. And my best way to describe this whole set of scenes is instead of House of a Thousand Corpses, this is just the diner of a thousand corpses because these sick fucks have bodies everywhere. I'm talking in the pantry, back where they cook everything, hanging up in the garage. Bro, she takes shelter in one of the walk in coolers, and this thing is full of bodies. Like, there must be half the town in this fucking diner right now. The only thing I could say, dude, is on a plus note, when there's this many bodies, it's pretty easy to play dead and hide in plain sight because
For
that's what she
real.
does.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? And while she's doing that, the guy looks in the cooler and basically stares right at her and thinks she's a dead body and moves on. Right
Hmm.
after that happens, you get a little jump scare, but it's David who's actually like grabbing her and like, shh, shh, be quiet, be quiet. And they try to come up with a game plan so they can get the hell out of there. And once the coast is clear, they do make a break for the semi truck that's like up on the lift. And David was smart before this. He went to the key box and grabbed every set of keys in there. Not one of them works. Of course, not one of them works. Dude grabs like 14 sets of keys for the
Hmm.
one truck, and not one of them works. And when they do go into this truck, they pull out the truck driver who's got his throat slit. David's like, he's still got to have the keys on him. When he gets down there, and he goes to grab the keys. It's on one of those like wire ties so it don't go nowhere. And he like stops and it jerks him. He's like, fuck. And when he looks back, now game on. The hunters are there. The
Hmm.
hunters are ready to hunt. And he starts kind of battling with this dude. And at some point, David winds up underneath the truck where they do like the oil changes. And he is just throwing haymakers back and forth with this just absolute behemoth of a monstrous looking man. They're going at it. We see Judy is going at it with the dude with the fucking wrong turn looking ass motherfucker with the gun,
Right. Yeah, that's a good
and
analogy.
they all battle. They go back and forth, and like this is a very high tense scene because it's one on one, and you don't know what's gonna happen because these dudes have been mopping up the town, and thankfully they win. They get in the truck, they get the hell out of there. They're doing 1,000,000 miles an hour after they win this battle. They're driving away. David's got like a CB radio, and you can hear a countdown. And Judy's like, "What happens when it hits zero?" And he's just like, "I don't know." And this dude is pounding fucking gears left and right, just trying to get the hell out of there. And finally, it hits zero. And they're looking around, nothing's going on, everything's still black. He's like, what was that? Like, anything going on? And then you see a bright light from behind them. This town is Chernobyl if it was in Illinois right now, because it is a mushroom cloud and a half, and you can see the force coming up right behind them, tearing up everything in sight. And they are just far enough away to walk away with minor injuries because this force totals that truck, but they survive. They get out and they start walking. They start talking and just trying to figure out what happened. They look back and you can see just the absolute look of just shock and like, what happened? What did we just survive? Are we the only ones? And as they're walking across yet another cornfield, we see a massive town in the distance. This
Let's
time,
go.
we get the satellite zooms out. It tells you the town. I can't remember the town off the top of my head, but it's
Grand
actually a
Rapids.
city. Grand Rapids,
Grand
yes.
Rapids.
Grand Rapids population. We just witnessed all this shit happen with a population of 1,200. This one has got a population of 120,000.
Dude.
Yeah. And then we get end credits. Justin, tell me a little bit about this movie.
And then right after the end credits, you get that quick
Oh,
little
the
just
post credit scene.
yeah, just
Yes.
a quick broadcast is pretty important because you hear like the news kind of, it's like cutting in and out. You hear like, oh, there was explosions in Ogden, March. The area is completely cut off. And then all of a sudden you see like one of the crazies face like interrupt the broadcast and it's over. But let's talk about this movie. Okay. Constant escalation of stakes. Masterclass in that. In your horror movie, you want to always like if the pace this pacing was amazing. They kept every single second, stakes kept rising over and over again. It was tense. Actually scary, very tense. The characters were great. Amazing character development. Edge of the seat, it hits crazy because it feels like a zombie movie, but at the same time, there's so much shit with like the government, also like outbreak stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of scary shit you could like see something like this happening. So for me, this is a top five horror remake. We already talked about that earlier. Absolutely love it. I give this a 9 out of 10. I think this is a solid nine. I absolutely love this movie, and I don't think it's talked about enough, honestly. We're just so yeah, I give this a 9.
We're going to be extremely close in our rankings, and I'll tell you it when I get there. But I forgot how much I love this movie. Timothy Olyphant is low key one of the best actors of our generation. That man does not get enough respect. He goes from playing a stellar sheriff in this movie, or even the best friend of Duddens in Dreamcatcher. But Justin, you want another
Hmm.
tie-in?
Okay,
He is one of my favorite psychotic claim to fame nutbags as Mickey in Scream 2. He's
let's
Ghostface.
go. Hell yeah, Mickey.
The rural small town setting and the slow build up from secluded chaos to full blown anarchy is such a steady ride to the tippity top of this movie. It's also quietly one of the smartest movies. Yes, they tell you it's in the water and that this person's house is closest to the reservoir and that's why they got infected first and etc etc. When you rewatch this,
Hmm.
there is small things that happen in scenes that you don't notice until you know how everything plays
So you
out.
know. Hmm.
If you rewatch this and pay attention to David throughout the movie, I would have snapped if I was this man. Every time he picks up a cup of coffee, whether it's at the Little League field or he pours a cup of coffee when he's at the station, something comes up and he never actually drinks it.
Dead.
Just something small like that, when you pay attention to that detail, blows my mind because a lot of people would just overlook it and let him drink as a part of the movie.
Hmm.
I would still be okay if we ever got a sequel to this movie. You go from a population of 1.2 thousand to over 120,000 people. Oh my God, the shenanigans that could have happened in a thriving city over a small rural town. I'm giving this movie a 9.1. Might not be top tier elite category of all time, but is one of my favorite remakes of all time. And I can honestly say, in the dozens of times I've watched this movie since its conception, I've never wanted to press fast forward or skip a scene or dreaded a scene. I've never had any slow moments in this. I've always enjoyed it front to back.
Also, before we go into fun facts, I want to talk about something again. I'm not a giant fan of like almost like the outbreak movies when the government takes over and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But or a lot of movies that start out like slow, like something else, and it turns into something like that. A lot of the pacing I feel is off, dude. Or I end up seeing movies where I like, oh well, I like the first half better than the second half, or maybe the first half was slow, but I liked it when it gets crazy. Dude, this movie, it pulled it off so perfectly. Like I loved before the craziness happened and after. Like I just, I don't know, man. They like
Yep.
whatever, like the pacing of this was like a
This
masterclass. I
this
loved,
is a very basic storyline and they follow it from start to finish. And I
yeah.
think when you don't stray from that storyline, it makes a huge difference.
And there was just no boring scenes. So much of like usually the government stuff when they take over and stuff, there's just too much fluff and just boringness of that. This was just amazing. And we got a tagline of very simple. If anyone's watching on YouTube, you can see it right behind me. It says, "Fear thy neighbor." So let's
Love
go.
it. This is a 6.5 on IMDb, criminally underrated. We should
Oh,
flip that six upside down. And then a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes.
jeeper, fuck, man. All right. We had a budget of 20 million and it made 54.8 million. Still should have made more, but that's still
Oh,
good. It's still
should have hit
amazing.
the 9 figure mark.
For real.
Lynn Lowry, co-star of the Crazies in
Crazies.
1973, of which this film is a remake of. She's the infected local riding the bicycle in the beginning scenes where she's going through like the desert town in the center of town and the dude's taking pictures.
Hmm.
She's the chick on the bicycle.
Amazing. Yeah, so I literally wrote this so many nods to the OG, which we just touched on. That was one I had. I also had the graffiti on the wall in the cell where I think was named Bill was in for a while. It actually
Yep.
says Romero in the background. If you look, it has graffiti on the wall that actually says Romero. I thought that was pretty badass.
Oh yeah. And then another nod. The old police car that they go back to get and take out so they can escape from the town is a 1973 Ford LTD, which was from the original year The Crazies was released in 1973.
Let's go. And awkwardly enough, every single thing you said I had written down. That was so I actually have nothing left because you had all the other stuff I had.
And then the last fun fact I do have, we kind of touched on earlier. This is the second of two horror movie remakes featuring Danielle Pannenbaker. The other being Friday the 13th from 2009, and it says her character doesn't survive in either one of them. But
Oh
that is
man.
all I've got, Hack Stab Slash.
Let's go.
All right, we out of here. Until then, have a great spring.
Peace.
Later.